I had to jump on. I didn't even want to wait. Didn't even want to wait. Had to jump on because there's so much I want to talk about. And so much I want to talk about with you, my friends, in no particular order. Today is the wildest day psychically. I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde or whatever the hell the particular thing is, but I am feeling wacky today. And I want to start off by saying a couple of things. First and foremost, God bless Laura Loomer. She's driving everybody crazy, and I love that. And you know who really hates her guts? That sniveling little twit is that Caitlin Collins or whatever her name is. Oh, if ever there's somebody who looks like she's smelling a turd at all times with that funja face, that frabissima, oh, I despise her. It's over. And they said, Laura Loomer said that if Kamala Harris wins, the White House is going to smell like curry. Oh, for the love of God. Is that the best you can do? You make me sick. You got Loomered. I think she's terrific. I think she has done more. She is what Mike Wallace is. She's the scariest person in the world. She doesn't give a shit. Pardon my French. She doesn't care. Mike Wallace was pretty serious before. Not like Laura Loomer. Oh my God. She is just, it's beauteous. I think it's wonderful. And I think it's terrific that she's doing this because we need more of this. We need more people to go there and bust chops. And you know who also want to give a special shout out to? Sean Lennon, who basically told that twit from Snow White basically to shut up. That's right, Paul. Early, let me tell you something. You listen to me, Wolfie. I start whenever I goddamn well want to. And I'm not going to take any gruff from you. So you either sit back, enjoy it, or take it. But don't you even bring up the time. I talk to you when I want to. I'm kidding. I love you. Sometimes I start early, sometimes I don't. I don't know. That's why I say you better stay tuned to Lionel Nation. I'm tired of these times. I got to wait till 7. No, I want to go on now. I want to talk to you about a lot of stuff. I love it. There's so much stuff. This afternoon I was on with Redacted, and I was telling him, I said, I think I told Natalie something that kind of freaked her out. I said, she was saying, I said, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these freaks, these Hollywood people, basically put their kids up for genital mutilation and the like, just because it's considered something hip today. Just because people, the USAID money would say, you could help your career out tremendously if maybe you. And she said, what? I said, absolutely. I said, these people are, I don't want to say satanic, but they're as close to it as you can get. Oh my God. So much going on right now. Also, they haven't announced it yet. We did some finalization. Saturday night, listen to this, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. overnight in New York. I'm going to be on WABC. Set your recorders, because it's going to be a one-time deal. They're going to say, oh no, because I have been so out of that loop for the longest time. I've been on everything, and I've been doing the hardcore truth for so long. I don't know if I don't know. So I'll give it a shot, but I said, oh, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? We'll see. Be kind of fun, kind of old time sake. I'm an alum from WABC. It's funny, I talked to a guy today who works here. 30 years I've known him. We all started together. 30 years. Another one, and the guy who's going to be the producer that night worked with him at OR. It's like it's the smallest incestuous world. Do you know I've been basically in New York half of my life, which is, I thought, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. And I got this thing in the mail today that said, you're able to retire. It's like under medical, Social Security. I said, what? Yeah, in April. That's now. Yeah, you're 66 and 8 months or whatever the hell it is. I was like, no, is that right? Yeah. Yeah. See, I didn't even know. I said, okay, we'll wait a little bit. I mean, I don't understand this. I'm having these things that remind me. I mean, I'm saying things like 30 years, 40 years. Our next year is going to be our 50th high school reunion. 50 years next year. I don't know what that means. I feel like I've been in a coma. And they woke me up and they said, you're 80 years old. I'm what? 80? Where did this? I don't know. I'm still doing this stuff. So like I said, this coming weekend, set your alarms. Have you ever heard overnights in New York? Oh my God. Every freak. It's as a friend of mine used to say, it's the bewitching hour. Now, a couple of things I want to tell you before we forget. Listen to me and listen carefully. They're going crazy with this talk about tariffs, right? They have no freaking idea what is happening regarding tariffs. What's going to go up? What's going to be available? What food? Is there going to be a problem? Nobody knows anything. So right now, before the you-know-what hits the fan, that would be shit, by the way, preparewithlionel.com. These are the great people from My Patriot Supplies. They have emergency food, but not only emergency food. They've got stuff you've never thought about. Indoor ovens that you can use that don't put over. They're safe, and waterproof matches and solar radios. I mean, it's the most incredible thing you've ever seen in your life. So there's stuff. Now, I again, nobody knows what. And if you had the chance this morning by any stretch of the imagination, if you could have heard any moment of Fox News to hear Lawrence, Ainsley, Steve, and Brian describe tariffs, oh my God, that was the funniest thing I think I've ever heard in my life. They might as well be describing supersymmetry. So anyway, I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm not going to browbeat. Go to preparewithlionel.com. Look at the deals. Look, you will say, oh my God. Because you're not going to get this at Costco, and you're not going to go and say, hey, I got an MRE. You're not going to go to Dick's Sporting Goods or wherever the hell you go. That might be good for a weekend. But how about 30 days, 90 days, a year, 2,000 calories a day, 20 years shelf life in waterproof buckets? Preparewithlionel.com. They have been, I am an absolute fiend when it comes to food preparation. I think it's the most important thing in the world. It's kind of like a no-brainer, so to speak. So anyway, Laura Loomer must be having the time of her life. Now, I have not met her, but I am very prone to say, good for you, atta baby, go. And she's always responds very nice. I really, honest to God, I respect the hell out of her. And people say she's crazy. Why is she crazy? Well, she is so determined. She is so absolutely determined. Look at this. Kathy L says, that's crazy. My brain still thinks that I'm in the 30s. Then I realize my baby is 36 years old. Yes, that is tough, Kathy. You're 30 and your baby is 36. I think we got to talk about that. You know what's really weird? You get to the point, and I'm telling you, I am lucky in that there is no, physical problem, because if you've got some physical thing, or if you're out of breath or you're winded. See, I'm lucky because I never played golf. I never did any really serious exercise. I go to the gym and things like that, but I'm not, So I don't notice that I'm getting older. People say, I can't. I used to be able to play 18 holes of golf. I don't play golf, so I don't notice anything. I wouldn't play golf for no way, no interest whatsoever. But the interesting thing about everything, which I find, is that the people that I am meeting are so either boring or stupid or illiterate. That's why, God bless Laura Loomer. She's a powerhouse. She's driving them nuts. I think it's beautiful. And I think there's so much. I was watching a little bit today. That Candace Owens, boy, let me tell you something. I admire her. She has what she says, groceries. You don't know, since I was a kid, my skin crawls with groceries. I don't know where that came from. It's grocery. When you say, ooh, that's gross. You don't say, ooh, that's gross. She doesn't do a street. And the part that sticks to the street and the groceries is like, good. Oh, I'm terrible about that. Oh, I'm if you mispronounce words really bad and Victor Davis Hanson, oh, Latita James, Latita. He writes 9 books about the Peloponnesian War. You can't get Letitia like Letitia Baldridge. And Lawrence Lawrence on the Fox News. Oh. And of course, he's black. So if you say anything, he goes, you're racist. It's like, excuse me. I mentioned Victor Davis Hanson. I mentioned Candace Owens, but that's like a regionalism. I've got a friend of mine from Pennsylvania here. Down the street. Groceries. Missouri. And I know people say that. I don't get that. I don't get the Missouri thing. I don't know where that comes from. I had a guy one time, I had a law professor, he goes, Miami. I said, no, that's a new one on me. Cincinnati. Why is the correct pronunciation, why is that so different? Why is it so difficult for people to do? Why is that? Why? I don't understand this. Here in New York, we have a street called Houston. If you say Houston, then you say, you're not from around here. It's Houston. Okay. When I first became familiar with New Yorkese, they would say, you're standing on line. I would stand in line. I waited in line for an hour for no, they stand on line. I never get where did that online come from? And they came up with this bullshit story about how it meant it was, Ellis Island, there was a line. I think they just make this stuff up. I have no earthly idea where they came up online. Makes no sense. Nonsense. They also say some things. Because we're losing that New York accent. But friends of mine, a lot of the boys downtown, and a lot of they'll say, yeah, it was on Broadway. And you got to hit the way goes up. Broadway. I hear that all the time. Listen also to people, especially in Jersey, the word Newark. Newark comes into a lot of different ways. Newark, Nurk. And then there's Newark, Delaware, which is another story. Everybody's got little places like that. And I'm sure you've seen this. You've seen it where you what are places you have pronunciations that only you know about, that only you are available. For example, in how do we say this? In Florida, where I'm from, they have a county called, you would think it would be Lafayette, but they pronounce it Lafayette. I don't know why. They just do. Lafayette. And it's one of those things. Hey, look who it is. Make the dream great again says, are geoengineering clouds bringing the next COVID? I don't think so. I mean, why would you need that to? The next COVID I don't think you would need to intersperse, dare I say, the clouds themselves with no. I don't think we're ever going to see COVID. You'll never hear the word COVID ever again. They'll give it a new name. They'll give it a new name, and the new name will be something to the effect of it'll be like and even monkeypox. It'll be something you've never heard of. And everything that you thought before will be replicated today. Make the Dream says Missouri, Kentucky, Louisville. Oh, I guess maybe. Now, Kentucky, I don't know where that. Maybe you're just talking about ending. Oh, by the way, there's a great little joke. What you ask somebody is, hey, Dave, yeah, listen, how do you pronounce the capital of Kentucky? Is it Louisville, 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 Louisville? He goes, Louisville. No, Frankfurt. Okay. Now, that's that story. Another big one. Look at this. Angela P. says, what's happening with Big Tish James? Oh, how I despise her. There's nothing, Angela, like the feeling of a woman in hate. There's something so beautiful about that. Women can hate, and I'm sorry when I say, Lizzie Solak's back. What happened to your other picture? This is nice too. Don't get me wrong. She had like her high school picture, and then she got this. Anyway. Sometimes people despise. Who were the people? Look at this. Try Leominster, Massachusetts. I bet nobody get it. Wow. Or Leomeister, maybe? Who knows? Here's the joke. Here's the story. The people that make you sick to your stomach. See, that's why Laura, Caitlin, whatever, with that Funja face, I'm sorry. It's kind of who she drives me nuts. Joy Behar doesn't do it. Keith Olbermann, in the rarest of the rarest of instances, I'll see something that he's doing where he's not anywhere to be found. He is despised by everybody. Remember the story where he and that what's her name from NBC? Tur, remember that? They were Katie Tur, they were dating or something. Did you ever read those stories? What a freak. What a freak this guy is. Jesus. And he is just, he's so angry and thinks he's so goddamn smart, and he's not. Because when you are so miserable and you are despised by everybody, you're not smart. It's not a smart thing. But in any event, I see him and I kind of, my skin kind of boils. Some people too. Alec Baldwin's wife. I've been trying to reach out to Stephen Baldwin. Do you ever see? He's not a bad guy. He's a little interesting. He's not crazy. He's very interesting. His father-in-law's Deodato. Remember that? 2001, he did the great Bubbles, Bangles, and Beads. Live at the Mississippi River. What do you do? Oh, St. Louis Blues. Oh, anyway, that's Stephen Baldwin's father-in-law. And his daughter, Stephen's daughter, is Haley Bieber, married to Justin Bieber, who one day you're going to wake up, I'm sorry to tell you this, and there's going to be something bad that's happened to Justin Bieber. He's just not going to make it. Same thing with Britney Spears. Something absolutely is so sad. They were so talented, and this poor schmuck, I'll bet you he was rode hard and put up wet by that Diddy. I'm sorry, those people are just disgusting. Anywho, did you hear the latest? Oh, look at this. Annie, by the way, Annie Underhill from our Facebook says Stephen Baldwin Drop some interesting conspiracy theories, if you will. I like that. Both Baldwin boys are arrogant. I don't care for them at all. You know, they did this story. He does something called one bad band or one movie. I don't know. Anyway, he does this, and he had on Alec Baldwin was absolutely so interesting and kind of calmed down. And their sister, I guess they had an older sister or younger, whatever, between them, and they were, it was really something. It's like I didn't recognize him. See, he's married to that lunatic, that Eladia Baldwin, who doesn't speak with a Spanish accent anymore. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a real basic question. And I asked Mrs. L this, and maybe you can tell me, because I'm stupid, okay? I'm stupid. Look at this sick bastard here. He writes, Justin Bieber and Britney Smears. I like you, Dangerous. I like you. You know why? Because you're sick. Bobby Darling says, Loomer is a monster. I agree, Bobby, 100%. Love her. What happened to Rand Paul? I don't know. You know what's funny about that, Robert? He's kind of like this. It's a tax. It's like, just shut up. Would you just, seriously, just, God. You were really effective about that Fauci, weren't you? You didn't do shit with Fauci. In any event, I'm going to ask you a real stupid question, all right? And what I'm going to ask you is so base, and I asked Mrs. L this, and I don't understand it. I'm just, okay. First of all, I hate bullshit artists. I've been saying shit a lot. I got to watch that. But it's a perfect word. I like what Alina Habba is doing in terms of going out there and being whatever, but don't play like you're a U.S. Marshal. Please don't. You're not a U.S. Marshal. Don't stand behind some guy. Do you see him wearing an Amazon? Today, Mrs. L and I were on 8th Avenue, and oh my God, these Amazon trucks were unloading. It looked like, I don't know what it looked like. The big bins and their Amazon, when they deliver stuff to the building here, it looks like, I don't know what it looks like. Johnny Mazza says Orban pulled Hungary out of the ICC. I wonder why. Interesting. International Court of Criminal Court? I don't know. That's interesting. Well, let me ask this question. This is a very, very basic. This is very, very, very. Okay, so Alina Habba, good for her. You know, she said, I'm going to be the president's lawyer, and I'm going to be in Washington. He goes, well, what do you mean, well? Well, we want you to be the interim U.S. attorney in Jersey. Ballyhoo, Lionel. One love. Thank you, Tommy. Tommy Army, ladies and gentlemen. So they said, no, we want you to be the U.S. attorney in New Jersey, in Newark or NERC. What? Wait a minute. What? Yeah, we need you. You need me. Oh, God. But I was gonna be the belle of, because, you know, Alina say, hey, Gabe, you know, she thinks she's just the sauciest. Huh? I'm not done. She thought I'm going to be, when she was at that thing and whatever, look, she wants to be, I mean, God bless her, keep her there. But when I see people who want to act like big shots, it goes back to it goes back to all my life. You say, I don't like people who act like they're something they're not. I say, you're not cool. You're just, you know, you're not the most beautiful person or handsome person. Just calm down, okay? All right? I'm sorry. There's a lot of people here in New York. I don't like that. So one day, so there she is standing behind this guy, and all he had to do was just turn around and hit her. He could have shattered her face, an eye orbit. He could have just stamping on a foot. You know what I can do to your instep? People don't think about this. I could shatter every bone in your. Your feet are 25% of the bones in your body. I could do anything. I could snap and I can reach, but she's behind him. This is your knee, okay? You know what it takes for me to snap it? I want you to put a board against the wall, a board like a plank, two by whatever they're called, and you just hit it with your knee, just with your foot. You could snap it. To snap a knee doesn't take half that. Oh yeah, you can really cripple people doing the most seemingly. So she's behind him for this photo op. She's got the hat on, and she's got the U.S. Marshal, and this other guy who's walking, he doesn't even have gloves on. This guy could have fentanyl on his clothing. But plus he had an Amazon vest on, which is kind of interesting. He's working. Those Amazon people, say what you want, they work their ass off. Okay. Now here's the question, okay? And admittedly, I'm going to tell you right now, it's base and it's low rent, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want. It's completely up to you. Okay. And I asked Mrs. L about this, and I find this hysterical. I think I told you that I find toupes, wigs, and hair extensions and weaves absolutely hilarious, as you would say. I just the concept of it. Now, here is the deal. I have one test alone. If it doesn't pass the camouflage test, you're wasting your time. The other day, did you see Michelle Obama? Poor thing, she's got the balls. She had like 2 chia pet balls on her head. It's like, rapper girl, what are you doing? Say what you want about Whoopi. She has wool or rope or something white, like hospital mop braids, and it's like, okay, I got it. Some people have if you walk around with those purple hair, okay, I got it. But going back to my question, one minute Alina Habba has long hair, then she does it. In one day, the extensions are out because she's doing this. I'm Charlie's Angels, one of those. And next thing you know, they're back in again. Now, let me explain something. I know this may sound like trite. Am I supposed to believe that what happened? I just want to know. If I told her, you do know that we know that's not real, right? I think she would be surprised. What do you mean? You do know that we know, for whatever it's worth, thank you for your service, but that you don't grow this much hair in one night and then get back. Why do you do that? You mean you don't think it's real? No. Not that it matters. It's a free country. I'm not telling you should do that. Remember Christy Noam? Remember her too? She was doing the Charlie's Angels thing. Remember, what would they call her? Pepper? Remember, yeah. Policewoman, that's right. Angie Dickinson. Remember that? Pepper Anderson. So she's doing the thing, she's got the 60. I wouldn't wear. Do you remember the picture years ago of Rudy D'Amato and Rudy D'Amato and who was the third one? It was this famous picture. Rudy D'Amato and hang on. It was Rudy D'Amato. They went uptown to buy. Did you ever see this? Oh, Rudy, Ben, and Al. Who was Ben? I forget who the Ben guy was. It was this feller. In any event, I want to show you this picture. We all saw this. We all knew it. We all laughed like hell. Rudy, by the way, is I think he's got his life back together. I think he's doing okay. He's this is, let me see if I can show you this picture. I should have saved it, but I just thought of it now, and I'm going to show you. And there's something you can do about it, because you'll get a kick out of this. Rudy was a great mayor, and I miss him. And he's always been nice to me. I just respected him tremendously. And he was a great, great mayor. And what he did to save this city will never be forgotten, at least as far as I'm concerned. Okay, here we go. This and that. Ba, ba, ba. Is this it? No, that's not it. Hang on a minute. Ah, here we go. Here we go. This is the picture. Now, check this out. Rudy, I don't know who this guy is, and that's Al D'Amato. Can you imagine buying crack from these three people? Seriously. Seriously. This was, I don't know what year this was, but this is one of the my favorite. Al D'Amato. You don't remember when he went crazy with Claudia Cohen? You weren't there? Yeah. Al D'Amato, I think he fell in love or something with a woman named Claudia Cohen. Claudia Cohen, I think her family owned Hudson News, right? So she was she died young, too young. But anyway, she was a kind of a socialite type. And Al D'Amato, yeah, she on TV show. So Al D'Amato, the senator, I think the senior senator, I think it was after Jack Javits, he said he met at the Water Club. And he basically told the world that he loved her. I thought, this guy's having a manic episode. I kept telling people, I think he's having a manic episode. He was telling everybody. He said, and I love her. And they said, what are you talking about? What is going on here? This is a U.S. senator. I thought this was mania. Flat out. Absolutely. Flat out. Make the dream great again says, talk about a freaking soap opera, Uncle Lenny. Love you, Mrs. L. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, because I want to make sure that we always pay attention to the great people that sponsor our show. They're good people, and we check them out thoroughly. I'm not going to just go by some fly-by-night anybody who comes along. But these great, great folks, I'm telling you right now, I want you to know, NoDebtWithLionel.com. Very simply, if you or someone you love, it says, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm up to my neck in bills. I can't sleep. NoDebtWithLionel.com. Sign up. Take a little quick. Nobody did. They'll call you. Just do it. They are the best. No Debt with Lionel. To reconsolidate loans, to maybe make some of them go bye-bye, a host of packages for you. I'm telling you, NoDebtWithLionel.com. If you are, you know that feeling of, oh my God, No Debt with Lionel. Get the peace of mind you need. I'm not just saying that. That sounds like such a schmaltzy thing. Get the peace of mind you need. It's true. It's absolutely true. In any event. Okay, moving down the road, whatever that expression means. Did you see this particular news story? Did you see what those rat bastards did? You know who pointed this out? Tim Pool, who annoys me. I can't listen to him for a second with that hat. Take that goddamn hat off. That wool thing, it must be hot. You're bald. So what? So you're bald. Take it off. What's with this hair thing? Don't you think I realize that you're wearing a wool cap? What are you, a second story man? It's hot as hell and you're walking around like OJ. Yeah, it's like you're walking around OJ, with a knife. In any event, CNN has Trump they made him look orange and Fox isn't. Okay. That's the least. Juanita Broderick is the greatest, one of the funniest people ever. She says, you cannot hate CNN enough. These people are saying, you know what? If that's the best you can do, you go ahead. You go ahead. How about this? Schumer's 1996 immigration status stand. That's right. In 1996, Chuck Schumer explains the number one reason illegals come to the U.S. And so they can defraud the programs like Social Security, and he wants to stop it. Chuck sounding very Doge. Quote, this is Chuck. I'm not going to make you watch this. Chuck says this is an anti-fraud amendment. All over where we go, people say, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud. If you believe you want to stop fraud and immigration, you have no choice but to support this amendment. This is Chuck Schumer. What happened to him? What happened to him? You know what happened to him. He's a rat bastard, this guy, who changed his mind because that's where the Democrats are going. That's where all these people, Nancy Pelosi too. Is unreal. How about this? U.S. bans romantic ties with Chinese citizens for personnel in China. Now, how do you ban that? That's called the Swalwell Amendment. How do you do this? Here's the best one. Laura Loomer. God, she's good. She writes this. I'm going to read her ex tweet, whatever it's called. I woke up this morning. Sounds like the beginning of a blues song. Da-da-na-na-na. I woke up this morning. Da-da-na-na. To learn that there are still people in and around the West Wing who are leaking. Big caps. Leaking to the hostile left-wing media about President Trump's confidential and private meetings in the Oval Office. I want to reiterate how important it is that people who gain access to the White House, to the administration, respect the privacy of their conversations with President Trump and his senior staff. Out of respect for President Donald Trump and the privacy of the Oval Office, I'm going to decline on divulging any details about my Oval Office meeting with President Trump. Was this beautiful or what? It was an honor to meet with President Trump and present him with my research findings. I will continue working hard to support his agenda, and I will continue reiterating the importance of and necessity of strong vetting for the sake of protecting the President of the United States and our national security. Don't you love her? Don't you love her? Come on, man. How people don't think, thank you for that. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. How about this? Breaking news. I love that breaking news. General Motors will be sharply increasing vehicle production in Indiana because following President Trump's tariffs, per Reuters. Blue-collar Americans are winning. GM is also adding, or planning on adding, more overtime days to the schedule and bringing in hundreds of new workers to quickly ramp up production. Isn't this wonderful? General Motors just announced it will increase hiring and production in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? I think this is wonderful. How about Mike Benz? Mike Benz says Chief Justice John Roberts spent a week living at Norm Eisen's 150-room palace in the Czech Republic where they, quote, worked on American and European rule of law issues together. Eisen was ambassador to 2011-2014. Roberts became chief justice. Norm Eisen, I despise Norm Eisen. Despise him. Senator Mike Lee responds to Chief Justice Roberts' demand that Americans stop asking about impeaching. Look. Let me just tell you something. I'm not going to waste your time with this. You're too busy. You're smart. You don't need me to tell you about this. You don't need me to explain this to you. The level of corruption in this country is so deep, it's so horrible, I can't even put it into words. Raul says, what's next for Mayor Eric Adams? He might, Raul, go on the independent ticket. He says, I'm not a quitter, as he quits. Make the dream great again says, bums, they got their flip-flops through USAID. Once you drain the swamp, fumigate the lobby. Bums they got there. Wow. I want to party with you. You know that? I want to party with you. Because remember, this is the face of law enforcement. Imagine buying crack. Yeah, Rudy, I'll buy some crack. Here, I'll sell you some crack. Sure. You too, Al. I like that little cap that has the corporal insignia on it. Yeah, I'll do that. There you go. Okay. What else is happening? Soul 76 says, regarding chaos, Ted O'Neill, read it, 20 years to write. I've read it. We talk about it all the time. It's the most fantastic thing in the world. Chaos is wonderful. Chaos is wonderful. That because it appears that our friend, Charles Manson, didn't do anything. Okay? See, that's the problem. I don't know why that thumb keeps popping up. That's the problem. See, that's why I told you about this WABC thing. I'm going to freak these people out. They're going to say, no more. No. How do I not tell people that 99% of what you hear is bullshit? Remember what Tolstoy said about history. History is a wonderful thing if only it were true. You're not going to hear most of anything. I remember also what the most important word that Marshall McLuhan said. Little lies are hard to keep secret. But big lies are easy because of your incredulity. And it's not just lies, but stuff that... I watched something today which was so interesting. There is a feller by the name of... Have you seen this guy lately? Let me give you his name. Let me tell you his name. It's a damn good name. But it's about the moon landing. Well, I got a friend of mine who's into this moon landing thing. Like, you can't believe. He sends me stuff all the time. And they can't, the suit wasn't thick enough. Okay, Vinny. Okay, take it easy. And the Van Allen, okay, Vinny. Take it easy. Take it easy. He's going nuts. Anyway, I had a bit of a Hannity whistle there. Huh? Nuts. All right. So, his name is... Have you ever heard him? His name is... Oh, God. Just a minute. Fake. Oh, his name is Bart Sibrel. Sibrel. Have you heard of Bart Sibrel? New evidence that Apollo 11 astronauts faked their photos. Bart Sibrel. Joe Rogan had him on. Okay. So then I watched a fellow named Dr. Brian Keating. Astrophysicist debunks the moon landing conspiracy theory. And Dr. Brian Keating, who seems like a nice guy, said absolutely nothing and debunked nothing. Nothing. You've got to see this. Soul 76 said, the left wants to destroy human nature, fundamental dispositions and characteristics, so we can be programmed and easily controlled by the machine. I think you are correct. I think you're correct. Now, I've got to tell you something again for the umpteenth time. I am not an expert in moon skepticism. I'm sorry, I do not know this. This I am not familiar with. I am not familiar with moon skepticism. But when somebody says something to me repeatedly, I will listen to everything. And the very first thing I want to tell you, the very, 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 very first thing I want to tell you, more than anything else, is very simply this. And I want you all to answer a question. I'm going to ask you a question. Mary Ellen Johnson says, the moon bounce dance failed miserably. The moon bounce dance? I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I dig you, Mary Ellen. I dig you. When I was growing up in Tampa, we had Channel 13. We had Mary Ellen. Mary Ellen was this lady who took your name. Let's say your name was Mary, but like an M, Ellen. And she would draw something with the M and the E. And I remember she had that on on my door to I went to this thing called Mary Ellen. How he had an aunt, Mary Ellen. Mary Ellen was a big name in my life for some particular reason. Anyway, question is, do you believe that it's even possible for the moon landing to have been faked? Yes or no? If it's impossible, we're wasting our time. We're wasting our time. If you say, oh, no, you can't. No. Do you believe so? Do you believe? Danny Flinker says yes. Danny, what the hell's the matter with you? Hillbilly says yes. Varkrenharhart says not sure. That's why I love this guy. He takes a position. I'm not sure. Atta baby. How do you get to LaGuardia Airport? I'm not sure. That's the guy I want. Pete Byron says, haven't a clue. I like that. Pete. He's honest. Pete doesn't know what he's talking about. Hasn't a clue and is not too afraid to tell you, I don't know shit about this. I never even thought about it. I can't even cut. I love that. People are profoundly unintelligent and credulous. Here's the question I have, and this is my thing. I believe that if somebody went to Vladimir Putin and said, President Vladimir, the way they say it, yes, I have a question. Yes. Do you want to hear something that you will be crazy about? Yes, I would. Are you ready for this? Yes. Make the Dream says, I think that Sibrel guy was one on Rogan that explained he researched the very camera wasn't invented yet to take pictures in space. He did a lot of things. He really talks about it. And he has the sibilance, which of course, I hear this, I go, anyway, but work with me on this. Do you think if this was fake, somebody said, President Putin, yes, or Xi Jinping or something said, listen, I want to tell you something. This moon landing stuff is complete horseshit. Complete. Why? Well, we know it. Because if this, and this, we're in the business. I know some people, we got drunk one night, and I'm telling you right now, this was Kubrick, it was a sound stage, or whatever the particular story is. Don't you think, listen to me carefully, don't you think that the president or that Putin would have probably said something along the way of, you know what? I would love, because these people are driving me crazy, I would love to say, wow, one small step for man, huh? It's more like one small step for bullshit. Oh, we know how you did that. Oh, we know all about that. Why? Tell them. Hello, Mr. President. Yes, my name is Vasily Levkovich. Yes. I know what you did. You do? Yes. Put on one of your NASA guys. And he said, okay, because you could do that. And the radiation and forget the, you had a suit that was so thin that the radiation, once they got out, it'd be like, they would have been completely. Elon Musk ain't going to Mars. I'm sorry. Nobody is going to the moon, and it just ain't. I'm sorry. That's what they say. Okay? But if that's true, don't you think somebody would have said, but they don't. The thing that we did, that was the example that people give all the time of the greatest feat in human history. Nobody has ever come and said, that's nonsense. Doesn't that get you? Don't you think because we're rather braggadocious, don't you think somebody along the way, somebody like in Russia would have said, this is nonsense. We know all about this. We're in the same biz. Why don't you think we go We could have gone to the moon. We don't do it. China doesn't go. Nobody's going. Why? Because it's nonsense. How could they? But then again, if it didn't happen, I'm still saying I think they would have been called out. So was Sabrell making this up? I don't know. Remember those weird stories about how Neil Armstrong said, and one day he had a mouth kind of a, I can't do his mouth, but he says, and one day you will learn how to peel back the veneer of truth. It's like, what? What? What are you talking about? Peel back the veneer of truth? What are you getting at there, Cochise? What are you getting at? Come on, man. I don't know. You have no idea how much I want it to be fake. I love fake. I love debunking stuff. You have no idea. Buzz Aldrin said it himself. Buzz Aldrin was crazy. Do you know there's a Buzz Aldrin high school or elementary school? Is it high school or elementary? Huh? Middle school. It's in Montclair, right? We go by it all the time. Buzz Aldrin, yep. I met Buzz in Atlantic City years ago. Put your makeup on, get your hair all pretty, and meet me tonight in Atlantic City. I was playing the big room at the Claridge. Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, I did. I played all kinds of rooms. I played the big room. I did. I played the big room. I played Caroline's. I played, we played one time. Huh? No, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. She did? I played that. I played, the Catskills, the Concord and the Catskills. I did that. The best comedy club ever, Rascals in West Orange. One of the funniest things I ever did is stand up with Bluegrass. It was a place in Brooklyn. It was wintertime. It was an Italian restaurant. And we walked in and we said, where do we, and they said, well, over there. And it's like, it was just a restaurant. I'm just standing in front of, like, in the middle, and people are eating, and hey, how are you? Don't mind me. I don't think it was a microphone. I said, what about lights? They said, well, we got lights. They turned the heat lamp. They had those heat lamps. So we had this, that was my light. So I'm sweating. It was snowing. I was one of the funniest. It's one of those things you take to your grave because it was just, played an old bowling alley. Played everywhere. Why I'm saying this? But anyway, one night I met Buzz Aldrin in Atlantic City, which is a real shithole. I'm sorry, Atlantic City. It's kind of nice right there, but if you just go a little bit out, you don't want to be there. You know what I mean? So Buzz was saying things like, it's all ridiculous. It's not true. We didn't do it. Who remembers the night in July? I was 11 years old. Who remembers it? Who? Liz Solak, by the way, giving clues, giving hints. See what this means? See what Liz is doing? This is part of a cult. This is not a satanic cult, but it's very interesting. It's bacchanalian, and they're into frottage, and this means something to people. I don't even know. But who remembers that night? I look at Gloria Hanley was there. Gloria, there we go. Gloria says, I do. Of course. It was something. MRO Levon says, the ETs on the moon kept walking in front of the cameras. So Kubrick had to refilm it. Now, I don't know whether Kubrick did it, but huh? Well, it looked weird, but there's all these things you can hear people saying, don't talk so fast and whatever. But I remember I was 11 years old. Then we were in this big TV. Did you have that big TV in the living room? This big thing that nobody could ever steal it. Never. Nobody could ever steal it. It was a big cabinet. It got a big tube on it. Remember the TV repairman? The guy who had this. We had a guy who had remember vertical hold, horizontal, vertical, and you would adjust it. And he had this mirror, and he would reach around on Johnny Fernandez. I can see him in my head with the mustache and all that. Come to your house, obviously, because you can't bring it anywhere. Did you ever have a TV that you had to warm up the real old ones, before the transistor, you warm up. And my father said, how's it doing? So I get up real close and look to see if there's anything red, anything glowing. I said, it's turning red. Meanwhile, the radiation is, I'm putting my head up to it. Oh, those were great days. Turning these big knobs. Just remember before remote control, you just watched something. You just watched it. There was nothing. Remember, it was, we have so much stuff at night, so much, God, the variety, so much to watch. And we didn't have anything. We had the 4 o'clock did you have the 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the show, they have some guy on, like he was a weatherman or some guy at the station. Well, it's your afternoon show with, Edie Crowley's weighing in. Edie Crowley says, the powers that be knew that American public is gullible after Orson Welles' October 1938 radio broadcast, War of the Worlds. It was Mercury Theater. I don't necessarily believe moon landing was a hoax. You know what? I really have no opinion. I know it sounds terrible. It's like, for example, if you ask me about God, I really don't, I don't know. What's the matter? Oh, sounds like you're like exasperation with what I'm saying or something. Anyway, I was saying something. What was I saying? What was I saying? I don't know about what I believe and don't believe and all that, but I love when things are debunked. And I love when somebody says, this doesn't make any sense. And I remember those moments. I think I was going to tell, I know what it was. The time we got our first color TV was one of the most, Charlie says, I was the remote control. Me too. And if you had rabbit ears, I'm the guy. Turn it like that. Okay, perfect. What the hell am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? That's perfect. What do you mean that's perfect? Cable TV blew my mind. My friend I think his father had HBO when it first came out, and I thought, the color, the picture. Soul says, remember when 72-year-old Buzz Aldrin punched that moonlight landing conspiracy theorist straight in the face? I do, because he was being a real jerk. Put your hand on the Bible and swear you didn't do that. Pow! Didn't even go down, though. If you're going to hit somebody and the guy doesn't, if you don't drop him, say, what are you bothering? But anyway, but there it was. HBO, the picture. And in Florida, we had antennae, and they got hit by lightning. And we always people lost TVs. It was really, they had surge protectors and all this kind of stuff. Well, there was this box with this perfect, and you could see movie, and you think, oh my God. And people said at the time, who's going to pay money for cable? And then when I saw WCW on Channel 17, Superstation. Not TNT, WC, and then whatever it was. Gordon Soley was on. Gordon, my dear friend Gordon, great wrestling announcer. He would fly to Atlanta every week, do that, come back. What was it? I thought I'd never forget it. Anyway, it was Superstation. Atlanta. And I remember watching him and Ted Turner said, Gordon, I like wrestling. He goes, okay. He says, well, you know what? We just did our ratings. I think it was the first time that they actually used the Nielsen box. And wrestling, WCW, I think it was. Anyway, they were number one. I love the American flag and music from 1 to 4 a.m. Oh, do you remember Seeds from the Sower? This man, he did this. Michael Guido. Seeds from the Sower. It was a daily devotional program that began in Metter, Georgia in 1952. Seeds for the sower. I'd love to put this on. He would say these wonderful things like, in our time of I watch him every night. The devotionals. I wish I could play one. I don't know if I can play one. I love that guy. This was during my born-again Christian time. I was very seriously into that. Not really into it. The idea that people don't understand. Russian president was asked a question. The Russian president was asked the question. It's on YouTube. Ask what question? What question? Thank you. About the moon or whatever. I don't know. Going back to what I was saying. Now, tell me a current television moment. The final MASH. The final, remember that awful Seinfeld? It was horrible. It was terrible. But The Sopranos, in recent memory, The Sopranos was Sunday night, 9 o'clock or whatever it was. It was appointment TV. And believe it or not, young people today are in love with The Sopranos because they can't believe this was ever on. They can't believe the violence. They can't believe the racism. They can't believe the way terrible killers actually talk. Yes, remember Bishop Sheen and Charlie Sheen, too. Most people don't know the connection. Any event. All right, my friends, we've had a wonderful talk tonight. Didn't we? Didn't you love this little foray, this little traipse through history, and this desultory, elliptical, discursive ramble? Don't you love it? Of course you love it. You love it because it's fun and because there's a feeling of commonality. Even Sam Muffaletta says Pink Floyd landed there in 1973. Yes, on the dark side, if I recall correctly. Sammy, you are too much. You ever had a Muffaletta? You ever had that? I think they call it in Chicago, Jardiniere. It's that wonderful, not caponata, but there's the Central Grocery in Louisiana, New Orleans, sold this olive spread that you put in the Muffaletta. And I used to have that stuff delivered. It was just, oh my God. On anything it tasted good. All right, my friends. Thank you. Thank you. Steve Connor says, I love it when you reminisce. It's all that matters, my friend. You know what? Because when all is said and done, it's kind of like just good old front porch talk. You know what I mean? Where you're just sitting around, just telling stories and just enjoying ourselves. Johnny Mazespaz says, yes, about the moon. Thank you. And Cut Up says, Bishop Sheen, life is worth living. Well, I would hope so. Can you imagine if his message wasn't life? It's not what it's cut up to be, or cut out to be, or cut up to be for that matter. Angela P says, when I discovered CNN in the 80s, I thought it was so great, and I guess it was. Times sure have changed. Oh, haven't they? They were great. Remember Bernard Shaw and that guy with the chiseled face? They were so good. It was, if ever there was anything serious, the war or plane crashes, now they suck. We used to have, growing up, every morning, this guy named Ernie Lee. Ernie Lee he was from Berea, Kentucky. Play some great music. Barefoot Barney Reynolds. And they would play this and give me some elbow room. It was maybe the worst show ever. But getting ready for school, sitting at the front at this table, the island with that big, weird kind of a Jetsons TV with the thing, and I'm watching Ernie Lee. It was always like, oh, God. Ernie Lee, what a way to start the day. Pilgrim Media says the Pink Floyd Sid Barrett story is really sad. It is. Very sad. And I would say, this is the worst morning show. This Ernie Lee is horrible. And give me some, one song, give me some elbow room. And he would sing and give me some biscuits with, and black-eyed peas and some toe jam footballs or whatever. Some all this stupid Southern fare. And he played the goddamn song every day. Cut Up says on ABC, the bee got tucked in at midnight and the peacock on CBS. Wow. This sounds like some drug code we're into. Cut Up. Doesn't it sound like that? We would move in the morning from Ernie Lee, if you couldn't stand it, this guy George Michel. And George Michel had the worst tube. Again, as a kid, tubes fascinate me because they think I don't know it's a tube. At least ostensibly they do. And they had this guy, Captain Wilson Hubbard. Now, if you grow up in the South, if you grew up around the beach in these areas, we had all these fishermen. If you're a captain, we had a guy, Len Berman. On the weekends, he would do Captain Len Berman, anyway, we had Captain Wilson Hubbard. And Wilson Hubbard came up, he had his little captain's hat on. You know the little captain's hat that Hugh Hefner wore? It's stupid. It's a little cap with the wheel. And anyway, Wilson Hubbard would come on and show these maps that I don't understand them. And he'd always say Cape Sable to Tarpon Springs. And he said, now the Bonita are here, and we're going to the middle grounds, and grouper and snook. Snook were these snook were these very elusive game fish at night by the pier. And it was like the most, I'm wondering, what am I watching? These maritime navigational maps with a guy with a hat. And then I turn it back on and give me some elbow. I'm thinking, let's just go to school. I think that was the idea. It made you miserable. Did you watch Better Call Saul series? I did. It was very good. Very, very, very good. I kind of get the gist of things very quickly. You know what I mean? I don't watch anything. Mrs. Ellen and I saw something the other day, which I am so fascinated by. The world of fashion and how fashion changed and how New York and Paris. When you were in New York and you were around 7th Avenue, around the Garment District, you would see them pushing these, what would you call them? These carts with racks on wheels, garment racks. I mean, back and forth. These. It was so. New York was the 70% of everything was made here. I mean, it was something. Now gone, but you still see these button places, fringe. What would you call that? Buttons, fringe. It's so interesting. Trimming shop. Mrs. L did that where she was into her kind of a, she was Stevie Nicks before Stevie Nicks was Stevie Nicks. That making sense to you? In any event, I love not so much nostalgia, but when it comes to fashion, how it changed everything. And what killed fashion? Grunge. Grunge killed it. The 80s or whatever that was, it was a 90s, it was a dearth, a paucity, a veritable nadir because of these people walking around with their torn flannel and all that crap. I still hate jeans with cut holes. I hate that. I hate it with a passion. And with that, I'm going to stop. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your thoughts. Soul, thank you. Cut Up Cheddar, Pilgrim, Johnny Madzis Baz, Mufaletta, Charlie Calais, ladies and gentlemen. Soul again, Edie Crowley, M.R. O. Levon. Make the dream great again. Thank you. What a wonderful aspirational message that is. And inspirational. Raul, we thank you. Thomas Almy, thank you so much. What a wonderful night. All right, dear friends, don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Don't forget to follow our separate channel, Lionel Legal. And again, we may be doing in the morning. Just make sure you're always subscribed to Lionel Nation, because I might just say, you know what? I feel like talking now. And that's what you want to catch me in the right mood, rather than, well, it's almost 7 o'clock. No, I don't like that. All right, dear friends, have a great night. Be safe. Don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.